What's going on? John Cordy on the electric guitar.
This channel is supported by TrueFire. TrueFire is an online library of lessons from some of my favourite players. There's thousands of lessons on there. You can use the promo code JNC40 to get 40% off of any of their courses. It's my birthday today, so please don't be mean in the comments, but I got a chance to play a gig. So I didn't have any gigs in March, and I guess I used that time to buy a bunch of Fender guitars and end up down a Blackguard telly rabbit hole. But I remember there was a comment on one of the videos asking, are you going to gig the Nacho? And for me, I don't really see the point in having gear personally for me, because, you know, I think of myself as a gigging musician too that doesn't get out of the bedroom. Like, obviously, like, the bedroom is where the important stuff gets done for me in terms of practice. Well, it used to be, but also, you know, making videos for people like you to watch. Thanks for watching. I try to kind of link everything back to, like, the live experience, because there is something different about playing live. So anyway, the answer was yes, I'm going to gig the Nacho, and at the first opportunity I did gig at the Chip-In in Lyme Regis, and Jake was there. It was his gig, obviously, and so I just wanted to talk about how it was. So the important things, probably the best feeling guitar that I've played with live, I think. Certainly the most expensive guitar I've played with live. Is this something that I would take to every single gig? Probably not. So there's going to be certain gigs where it's like, actually I don't know this place that well. You know, if you're playing at the Fisted Duck or the Thirsty Shrew or whatever in, I don't know, Basingstoke, you know, is this going to go out to every single gig? Probably not. Maybe gigs where you've got like a stage set up and then you're quite a way away, you know. Maybe in a gig like there's the Firehouse next to where there's a wall where if you turn around you smash your headstock against it and put an extra sort of grand on top in terms of relicing, I guess. But yeah, so that kind of, you know, not every single gig, but anyway, so felt really good to play. The things that I'm liking about a telly would be true, I guess, of basically most tellies, which is more that, so when I listen back to some of my playing live on like a Strat, I do notice that sometimes at the top of the bend, particularly in a scenario where you can't hear yourself quite so well, I find myself underbending. Whereas with the telly, I think it just takes a few to get yourself sort of calibrated, and then you're in, hopefully anyway. Tuning stability on it is good. The other thing I really liked about it was when I was taking solos, this, the word that I'd maybe use for it, pickup, had a lot of bloom to it. I was playing like I don't know, a dope anyway. But I think you hear a bit of it there. Like a but yeah, enough talky stuff, but I'm happy with it. It was part of the reason that I was able to make that sort of video yesterday with the Nacho versus Jake's Nacho, because it was like actually having two guitars that looked exactly the same from the exactly same era of Nacho on stage might have looked a little bit weird, I think, whereas these look kind of different enough. And then after the gig I borrowed Jake's guitar for a couple of hours and just tried playing them side by side, and it doesn't feel to me like there's necessarily anything about this guitar that is holding me back versus that one. Now, I guess the real point of all of this is to say that I basically sound exactly the same on any of my guitars, so it doesn't necessarily matter. I've got footage of me playing the Twattercaster, which is, you know, my £400 parts caster that I put together at the ship-in, and I think probably the playing on that night was better anyway. So, you know, ultimately, like, no guitar is going to change what you play like, and to that point